Those problematic speed cameras have now caught the eye of some lawmakers, and some are ready to act. WJZ is live on Cold Spring Lane. Derek Valcourt has the latest black eye for the program. Derek?
Well, keep in mind that people were skeptical about some of these cameras even before they were installed. And now that there are reports of problems with some of these cameras, some lawmakers want action and want to guarantee that these cameras are fair and accurate for everyone. Reports of malfunctioning speed cameras doling out tickets to drivers who don't deserve them have raised doubts. Do you have faith in those speed cameras?
No, I don't.
I would say I probably don't trust them.
The evidence is there that they're not accurate right now.
The evidence of the speed camera problems came from an investigation by our media partner, the Baltimore Sun, that discovered inaccuracies with a handful of the city's 83 speed cameras. Take this speed camera on Cold Spring Lane near Falls Road. It snapped 11,000 speeders, but some tickets had to be voided after the camera had recorded the wrong speeds. The City Department of Transportation says they're working with the company that operates these cameras to conduct a rigorous investigation into the problem. The City Council says they'll hold hearings on the matter as well.
The commitment from me and my administration is to have a camera program with 0% errors.
Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake tells WJZ the cameras are making school zones safer. Speed violations dropped by 80% last year. The average speed of drivers down at 44 of 48 fixed camera locations. But how many camera tickets have been wrong may be impossible to tell, because for many drivers it's easier to simply pay up.
Or you have to go and spend your entire day fighting it. It's just too much of a hassle, and so they found a way to get some more money out of the people of Baltimore. And it's a bit of a shame.
Among the concerned lawmakers, Delegate John Cardin, who tomorrow plans on holding a press conference to talk about some of the speed camera problems and potential solutions. Live in North Baltimore, Derek Valcourt, WJZ Eyewitness News.
All right, we'll be there to cover that, Derek. Thanks so much. Despite these problems, city officials say the speed camera program has an error rate of less than 1/4%.
The General Assembly is considering a proposal to put the brakes on certain tickets issued by red light cameras. As we first reported, Richmond is the latest locality to add red light cameras to an intersection.
Petersburg put these cameras up last fall. Investigative reporter Rachel DePompa pulled the data.
Tonight, Rachel takes a look at what one lawmaker is calling a scam.
They are the new eye in the sky, making red light runners think twice.
State law no longer requires VDOT to do a study before these cameras are installed, opening the doors to these red light companies, and they are now offering cities and towns some sweet deals.
Richmond has a contract with Redflex and just recently installed a camera at Elkhart and Hall. Petersburg has 2 intersections covered by Redflex and was given the cameras for free.
The goal is safety. Safety is the goal.
But Delegate Joe Morrissey says otherwise.
Oh, stop it. You're concerned about putting money in your pockets.
Morrissey considers the cameras abusive to drivers, purely there as a way to make money for localities and the camera companies.
What they're doing is they're getting into bed with localities who have one goal: raise money, raise revenue, and the people who are bearing the burden are average, law-abiding, traffic-minded citizens who are getting really screwed by this, and I think it's disgraceful.
Morrissey is ticked off at the number of tickets these cameras are creating for motorists making slow-rolling right turns at red lights. In Virginia Beach, where the cameras are widely used, the city issued 2.5 million in right turn on red tickets last year. That's around 50,000 tickets. Petersburg's cameras are at Washington and Adams, which only had 4 crashes in 2011, and Crater and Wagner, which had 2 crashes.
There were 2 accidents there. Okay, so a VDOT study would say, hey, there's no need for a camera. Sure enough, they want to put a camera up there because it's a revenue generator.
We reviewed the data from a 12-hour period at Wagner and Crater. During that time, only 1 driver was caught blowing through a red light. 152 drivers would have received right turn on red tickets.
I am against this zero tolerance concept that we are going to issue a ticket for everybody who makes a right turn on red if they don't come to a full stop.
But Janet Brooking, the executive director for the nonprofit Drive Smart Virginia, disagrees.
Automated enforcement is a way to have a presence out there that serves as a deterrent to help people understand how to follow the law without, us having a law enforcement officer on every corner.
She points to a study by Old Dominion University of Virginia Beach's cameras. When the cameras were temporarily turned off, red light running tripled.
Why are we getting worked up about people doing something they shouldn't be doing anyway? Let's just follow the law, obey the law, make the roads safe for everybody.
Morrissey has proposed a bill to ban all right turn on red tickets from cameras unless there is video evidence that the driver failed to yield to a pedestrian, cyclist, or other vehicles.
Don't be deceptive. Don't raise revenue with this clandestine, big government surveillance mechanism that tags people. Let's do it the right way, the way it's supposed to be done.
Now, Morrissey's bill is in committee right now. Richmond's first red light camera at Elkhart and Hull is expected to start running
an automated citation for going 57
Rachel
miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone on June 29, 2011. The photos and video from the speed camera show the vehicle slowing to what appears to be a stop at a red light.
Basically, we received a citation for speeding. My wife received it. It's her van. When I first opened it up, I said, "Honey, you got a speeding ticket. You were supposed to be at work that time. Are you doing some kind of monkey business?" We noticed right away that the photo in the picture has a different license plate. It's a different make, model of the van. Same type gold van, but we noticed that the license plate was a little bit different. And so right away we know it wasn't her van, and we were not going to pay the $40, so we said we're definitely taking this to court. And I just blew up some pictures of my wife's van with the accurate license number and got out of our speeding ticket.
Daniel Rogers received a speed camera enforcement ticket for February 1st, 2012 that should never have been issued. The accompanying photos and video appear to show the car traveling at a normal rate of speed, not the indicated 63 miles per hour, on westbound Cold Spring Lane. But because there are two other vehicles near the car, it should have been rejected prior to issuance based on the multiple vehicles in the image. Rogers reluctantly paid the fine, knowing the speed was an error, but said travel, parking fees, and lost wages would have been much greater than $40.
Well, we received our first ticket back in February for a speed camera on Cold Spring Lane between Falls Road and the Expressway. I can't remember the speed, but we just figured we must have been speeding, although it's unlikely because of the geography there coming off the expressway and the lights and everything, but we just paid it. And then a week or two later, we got another ticket. And on that ticket, we were doing 70 miles an hour. And I just figured there's no way we're doing 70 miles an hour in that spot. You just can't do it. You'd be crazy. So I took a magnifying glass and looked at the timestamps and then measured the distance that we traveled based on the pictures and did the calculations and realized that we were only doing about 31 miles an hour. So we protested that one and, asked for trial date. And then the next week or two later, we got another and another and another. We had a total of 5 tickets. I mean, it's quick in court. It's interesting. Like I said, in both cases, the gentleman from the camera company just stood up and said it was a mechanical error or an error, and the judge said case dismissed. I have since found out that the camera on Cold Spring Lane is well known as a problem camera. You kind of wonder as to whether it needs to be, whether they really care about fixing it, or it's just a cheap easy source of revenue, and they just decide, hey, the few people who complain, they go to court, we'll let the judge deal with it, and the judge will be fair and realize that they weren't going that speed. For those who pay, or those who don't pay and don't show up in court, we'll get our $40 and divide it up and move on with our lives.
Daniel Doty of Lorryville received a Baltimore speeding citation in the mail issued from a speed camera. The ticket alleged his Mazda 5 was going 38 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone on East Cold Spring Lane at the intersection with Perry Parkway. However, the photos printed on the ticket as evidence of the infraction clearly show the car was not moving, but was instead stopped at a red light, brake lights on. The video clip included with the electronic version shows the car motionless when the camera snapped the photos on April 24th. It was so obviously wrong that I couldn't believe that anybody had bothered to look at this, said an outraged Doty. It was like somebody was so obviously asleep at the switch. I thought that was not supposed to happen. Doty requested a court date to challenge the ticket. He'll get the opportunity December 14th at district court.
Doing radar Doppler measurement in an urban area with a lot of vehicles, with a lot of source of noise, is always problematic. Based on what I see, what's being used for the speed camera, radars are very basic, what we call continuous wave Doppler radars, just to detect a speed of the vehicle. The algorithms that's in there is limited. The human expert has a much wide range of experiences, and sometimes it's actually really hard to put all that into a software algorithm to do the processing.
Well, to be perfectly honest, we've made some mistakes that we shouldn't have been making on review citations. I've sat down and gone back through the process right now. We're making some dramatic changes. We're going to slow down. We're going to audit the process. We're looking at a different company too and coming in. So there's a lot of things that we're shifting and changing. We need to do it right. We need to do it correctly. We need to spend a lot of time on it. So we're revamping our system. And in this case, we have to say that we made a couple of mistakes there. We won't do that in the future. We're putting systems in place that we have an error-free system. And so we're putting those processes in, checks and balances, to make sure we're doing it correctly. Because no one, including myself, wants to get a ticket for something that you did not do. The impact of taking time off your job, the impact of having to pay something like that is unacceptable. So we have to go back and check that.